Overview of the universe. Xiefeng. The universe is the order. The universe exists as the order and remains relatively stable with the total energies reaching zero. The definition of the universe. The space with the negative and positive energies reaching zero is called the universe. Or the space with the balanced matter and antimatter is called the universe. The shape and structure of the universe. The universe is called the large universe and small universe. The borderless one is called the large universe and the one with borders is called the small universe. The large universe is made up of numerous small universes. D equals 3.1415926535589. It is the symbol of the large universe, which is limitless, no cycling, endless, vast and eternal. The small universe is the relatively secluded and independent galaxy space in the large universe, like the swirls in the river. Each swirl is a relatively independent rotating space. It is also like the eggs in a henhouse in which each egg is an independent and secluded space. The Earth we live on is in a small universe. We might as well call this universe the Earth universe to distinguish it from the other small universes. The Earth universe is a saucer-shaped Taiji oval with its edge covered by a layer of high-energy degree clouds, plus or minus. The layer of high-energy degree clouds, plus or minus, is the crust of the Earth universe. At the same time, it functions like the stator of a motor. It is a rotating magnetic field, pushing the things on the Earth universe to rotate counterclockwise. The structure of the Earth universe is an oval-shaped rotating object composed of yin and yang, the two meshing revolvers, just like the Taiji diagram of Taoism in China. The difference is that the Taiji diagram is a circle while the Earth universe is a Taiji oval body. We call the Taiji oval body the low rotary galaxy, in which there are almost 3,000 rotary river galaxies. Each rotary river galaxy is a relatively independent rotating one. In each rotary river galaxy there are almost 3,000 Milky Way systems with each containing almost 3,000 solar systems. The rotating rate of each celestial body and galaxy seems to be constant. But the fact is that the rate is changing all the time. Each celestial body, when is on the short axis, the rotating speed reaches the maximum. The farther it is from the short axis, the slower it rotates. When reaching the two ends of the long axis, the celestial body will halt for a short time, on which moment all the physical life on the celestial body will die. The spiritual body of the dead life will enter the negative pole of the Taiji oval body, which is called one kalpa. After passing the long axis, the spiritual body will get out of the negative pole of the Taiji oval body and enter the positive pole in the form of the physical life. Because the celestial bodies and galaxies have different mass, they stay on the long axis for different periods of time. So they are in permutation and combination again. For example, the Earth, in the next cycle, might become a desert land like the Mars, which might be full of life like the Earth. The spatial distance between celestial bodies and galaxies is also in constant change. The closer they are to the short axis, the more distance they will have. The universe seems to be expanding. The closer it stays to the long axis, the less distance it will have. It seems that the universe is shrinking. At present, the Milky Way system is now floating towards the short axis. The Earth universe is classified into the positive universe and negative universe. The positive universe. The sickle world is the positive universe. All the matters, tangible, seeable, touchable, hearable, perceptible, and those that can be measured by the instruments belong to the scope of the positive universe. The dark matters and energies are also classified into the scope of positive universe. For instance, the house, desk, plant, animal, human body, cloud, wind, thunder, lightning, sound, odor, molecule, atom, electron, ion, proton, neutron, nucleon, meson, hyperon, barytron, antiparticle, light ray, gravitation, magnetic force, infrared ray, ultraviolet ray, cathode ray, positive ray, ultrasonic wave, infrasonic wave, bio wave. The noise caused by the high and low frequency oscillation, diffusive substances emitted by the radioactive elements such as radium, uranium, plutonium and francium, and the universal gravitation all belong to the scope of the positive universe. All things existing in the universe in the form of elementary particles are matters. The physical world is the world that can be explained and will be explained by the science. The scope can be explained by the science belongs to the scope of matters. The scope that can be explained by the science belongs to the degree superstitious plus or minus scope not accepted by the people. When science tries to explain the things beyond the material world, it is not science anymore. Instead, it is called the anti-science or superscience. All the religions and the superstitious things are the super-science that stands against the science. The negative universe. The anti-world is the negative universe. All the super-matters, intangible, and others that can't be seen, heard, touched, measured, or felt but affect the material world all belong to the scope of the negative world. For instance, the universal repulsion, time, space, spirit, consciousness, thinking, soul, life-soul, belong to the non-materials. The belief, Tao, law, order, spell and Buddhism belong to the non-materials. The angel, God, ghost, Buddha, devil and other amorphous life are the non-materials. The dream scene, origin of the spiritual feeling, the bridge of the telepathy, the passage of the thinking telepathy, the paradise, the hell, Allah, ancestor of the Buddha, Yahweh and their residences, the zero world, the heaven world, the venue of the gods, and the Elysium where the spiritual body goes to after the dies all belong to the scope of the negative universe. The fantasy is no fantasy, and the reality is no reality, and the seeable is not usable, and the usable is not seeable, as believed by the Taoists belong to the scope of the negative universe. All energies and energy groups that do not exist in the universe in the form of the elementary particles are the antimatters. The positive universe can be explained by the science and is easy to be understood. The negative universe, till now, can only be felt by the people not very clearly. It can't be explained by the science and is difficult to understand. The negative universe is the anti-world. The negative universe is the origin of the matters. The material world is the reflection of the anti-world and image of the negative universe. Everything in the material world is in constant movement and change. They have birth and death. On the contrary, everything in the negative world exists in the relatively eternal state. The law of the universe, the unity of the opposites. Everything in the universe exists in unity of opposites, such as yin and yang, positive and negative, man and woman, male and female, front and rear, exterior and interior, high and low, up and down, firmness and emptiness, glory and shame, static and dynamic, noble and humble, weak and strong, rich and poor, merit and fault, fortunate and unfortunate, gain and loss, forward and backward, more and less, day and night, past and future, tangible and intangible, life and death. Each pair depends on each other. Without one, the opposite one will not exist. The unity of the opposites is the presentation of the universe nature. However, it is a major law of the universe existence. The negative is there because of the positive, and the universal repulsive force is there because of the universal gravitation. It is the same with the matter and antimatter, particle and non-antiparticle, photon and antiphoton, energy and negative energy, the left rotation and right rotation, and the mortal world and the fairy world. You can find the black where you find the white and the male where you find the female. It is the same with the life and death, flesh and soul, paradise and hell, law and lawless, chaos and peace. When the whole society is seeking wealth, there must be some people seeking knowledge. When the whole society is at peace, some force must be preparing for the riot. When all the human beings face the disaster because they have violated the God-Guess orders, the representative sent by the God and Buddha will help them to wake up. The extremely dynamic will lead to the static, and vice versa. The movement of the universe. The movement of the large universe is initiated and operated by the structure in the Taiji Energy Cluster Center. That is to say, it is initiated and operated by the consciousness of the greatest creator. The small universe, where the Earth lies in, is fueled by the hull of the Earth universe, which is a rotating magnetic field belt. In the universe there are two groups of energies with the opposite nature, like the action and the reaction. They have the different power but reverse directions. So the total energy stands at zero. These two groups of energies are the degree Buddhist power, plus or minus maintaining the orderly operation, stability and balance of the universe. If we add these two groups of energies, we will get zero. However, when either group is more powerful than the other, the universe will disappear immediately. For instance, the universal gravitation and the universal repulsive force have the same power and opposite movement directions. Because the total is zero, the solar system, the Milky Way system, the low rotary system and rotary river system move in an orderly way. If there is only the universal gravitation without the universal repulsive force, all the celestial movement in the universe will become the direct line movement and join together in the ultralight speed. So the universe will disappear immediately. If there is only the universal repulsive force without the universal gravitation, there will not be the rotations of the celestial bodies in the universe. The Earth will not move around the Sun and all the celestial movement will become the direct line movement. The celestial bodies will expand rapidly at the ultralight speed. In the end, they will burn and die and the universe will disappear, too. In the human society, the science and degree superstitious, plus or minus are also two groups of energies with equal power and mutual repulsion with total zero energy. There is no science without the degree superstitious, plus or minus and vice versa. These two forces constrain each other and move forward together. The more developed the science is, the more active the degree superstitious, plus or minus activities will become, because the science will prove that the degree superstitious, plus or minus is not degree superstitious, plus or minus at all. Instead, it is the super science. On the other hand, the more powerful the degree superstitious, plus or minus is, the more developed the science will be, because the degree superstitious, plus or minus will expand the scope of the science. The science and the degree superstitious, plus or minus is a unity of the opposites. The science finds it impossible to eliminate the degree superstitious, plus or minus, which also finds it impossible to eliminate the science. The positive universe is levorotation and the negative universe is dextrorotation. The point for understanding the universe. The correct understanding of the universe will help us build the correct universe concept, world concept and life concept. When we gradually know about the negative universe, there are fewer mysteries left behind for the world. We will know our past and future, Buddha, Buddhism, Tao and Taoism, Jesus, and the greatest creator. We can face the death and the life sufferings peacefully. In particular, when have made self-improvement and self-refinery to a certain degree, see the 1,000-year world, 10,000-year world and the Elysium world, we will long for them, just like those people live in the poor countries suddenly see what the developed countries are like in TV. We will know what we should do and will discover the value and mysteries in the Lifechanyuan. You might think that the 10,000-year world hundreds of thousands of light years away is much too far away. But the distance is just one step. People living a few hundred years ago used to think that there was a long distance between the Cape of Good Hope and San Francisco of the States. But today we know it will only take us 2 days to get there. And instant reaching can be achieved via telephone or internet. When we have dreams, the spiritual human body gets out of the flesh body and reaches his friends or relatives far away in a short distance. Even, the spiritual body can follow the time axis to meet with the deceased friends or relatives. For the spiritual bodies, there is no distance of time and space. When we have developed into the spiritual bodies of the celestial beings, it is an easy task to travel through time-space. The universe is our home. The Earth is just a point in the home, a temporary degree hotel plus or minus.